Oh, this is compounded. This one is half compounded. So I'm going to finish that. And then we'll polish these. And then I guess we'll have to go get the inner fenders and start bolting the inner fenders on to these. I think that's the way I'm going to put it together. Or I could buff this stuff while I'm buffing. I don't know. I'd like to get these fenders on the car, but it's only Friday night, so I still have this weekend. I don't think I'm going to paint anything this weekend. My only goal is to get the fenders and the core support and all that stuff on there. Anyway, let me just finish buffing this. And then I can clean off my table because, you know, it's very tabley. Alright, there's one fender. After the second step. Oh, hold on, I gotta go. My song's on. And is this the one I showed you? Or, I don't know. They're done. They're ready to go on. As I was saying, before my other favorite song came on, and what a coincidence. Anyway, you missed it. I put this headlight bezel on there on the fender to see if the color matched. Unbelievable, it did. So, these are ready to go on. I need help. Jimmy's been disappeared. I'm about to put out a missing persons report. I think he's been working on the 32 truck. Anyway, I don't know why. This is more important. This needs to get out of here. And hold on. Jeez, I just got a text. It's Angel laughing at something I said because I'm hilarious. So yeah. Inner fenders, core support, front valance piece, which is already painted. I want to get all that assembled, which is going to suck because then that car is really going to be in the way when the front end's on it. Yeah, and then, well, yeah, I'm going to buff those pieces, but that's nothing. Bottom of this is painted, and next, I'm just going to do the trunk by itself. I'm not going to do the trunk and the hood at the same time. I should, but not. Get the trunk painted. I gotta base it, put it on, lay out the stripes, take it off, spray the stripes, clear it. Oh, and then at least I have this bake light. So once that's painted, I can bake it throughout the week with that and buff it and get it back on the car. So we're probably a week out, 2 weeks before it's on the car, and I can do the hood. A couple weeks on that ish. I don't know. Let's just say 2 months. This is June, July, August. By the end of August, I want this car done and ready to leave. That's my goal. And this is the first time I've ever decided that, but now that I said it, you can hold me to it. I mean, I should be able to leave before then, but let's be honest, I don't get much done here. It takes me forever. You don't need to get into all that again. However, this is the compound I started using with the wool pad, and then I saw on one of Krause's posts on Facebook that someone said they used to use this, but now they use this. So I got some of this to try. And I can't say that I was impressed. I don't think it's better than this. I think I would still use. It's hard to say. They're similar. But then I was at Harbor Freight, everyone's favorite store, and they sell McGuire's, and I know a guy that uses this M100. It's pretty much their heaviest cut, or it is their heaviest cut, and so I just decided to try that with the wool pad, and I think this is my favorite out of these three. and the 3M one, I think this Meguiar's is the best. A lot of people love Menzerna. Jim has a G2 brand. I haven't tried it. He was gonna let me try that, but I don't remember if it was the cutting compound or if it was polish. And then my other buddy uses Ferracla, and you know, there's so many of them. 3D, or why is that what Jim? I don't know. Anyway, I've been using this for the polish, and it seems to work pretty good. And that's what these are in. And there's one more step after, but I'm gonna wait because I'm sure when the car's all assembled, I'm gonna have to go back and hit stuff and buff, and I forgot about that, so that'll be a weekend or more at work. But yeah, I'm trying to get away from the 3M compounds. They work, but I mean, this quart of this Meguiar's is like $29 at Harbor Freight. I don't know what the 3M is. It's over twice that, I think. And I think this is better. So, enough of that nonsense talking. I guess it's time to go inside because Jimmy's not going to show up to help do any more. So I guess I'll try to get him over here tomorrow. There was a car show I wanted to go to, but wouldn't you know it, it's been nice for 2 months and now it's raining, so no car show. Unbelievable, this thing, Peter. I also fired up this mini bike, which hasn't ran in a few years. So, carburetor's all gummed up. Doesn't really idle, but at least it runs again. Just thought you might be interested in that little fact. So, guess that's a wrap. And my fridge is empty almost, so that kind of is very disappointing. It's got these speed shapes in it that I painted. Did I show you these before? These were the colors so far that we were thinking for the T. I think we're leaning this way. I don't know. I keep these in there so they don't get overspray on them when I was doing stuff in here. Anyway, later. I will not turn this on later because, you know, tomorrow maybe though. Yeah, it's a mess in here. I can't wait to get this paint booth torn down and get the garage organized and get the hot rods over here and start building stuff. Alright, so here is the core support and got it out. Bolting these brackets back on. All this was taken apart before it was powder coated. Yeah. I don't remember what these are. I'm sure that'll come to me. Or Jimmy will probably know. It looks like some kind of bracket. And I do remember what these are, obviously. So these go on the core support too. Anyway, bolting these on with new bolts. And getting the core support ready to sit back on the frame. And fenders and stuff. AC condenser brackets. Aha, see? Got those on. Alright, so I didn't show any of assembling this because I'm just trying to get it done. And so yeah, Jimmy came over and we got the fenders on. And this front valance, inner fenders. For some reason, even though I mark all my shims, see this says left jam, that means it goes in the bolt in here. I took it out in order to get this to sit flush. No matter what, I don't care if you drill locating holes, you label all your shims, it always goes back together a little different after paint than it was before, at least for me. And it could be something as simple as the sequence in which you tighten the bolts. It you know, it puts pressure on the panel in different ways. It could be the thickness of the paint on the surfaces. It's probably part of it. But anyway, it's always, you're always doing something a little different, seems like, when you put it together for the last time. So, no, the hinges were already on the post, but the door could be different height and then rolling in and out than it was before. So that's probably why that changed. And when we go to put the hood on, we might be moving the fenders around again. But for now, I'm pretty happy with it. This is not, I don't think this is exactly as good as it was, as I'm pretty sure I body worked these together. Right now I just can't get these perfectly aligned. I mean, it's definitely good enough, but you know how I am. I'm just trying to make it perfect. This side, I'm very happy with. The sides, not that I pushed the car over, I should have filmed this first, but the side's really good. And of course, this is the factory fender, and that's the one, a Frankenstein fender, 2 different aftermarket ones, and cutting it apart and still not good. I will never be happy with this fender. But my only option was to find an NOS fender for $3,000. That was all the way on the other side of the country, which I almost did, but I just didn't trust it being shipped that far. And if I would have found one here, I would have bought it. I don't even care. I would just paid for it. Because this fender has been the most aggravating thing of all the aftermarket panels I think I've ever dealt with. So the fact that it's on the car and looks good, I guess I should just be happy. But yeah, so anyway, now I'm going to buff the headlight bezels, or whatever you want to call them. It's Sunday evening already. I don't know if I'll get them done, but I'd like to get those on the car. And then that rear lower valance. And then it's on the paint in the trunk. But yeah, pretty sweet. Good news, I got one of these on. Looks pretty good. Let's turn the radio off before, you know, it's probably already too much, but so, got one on. Bing, bang, boom. I don't have another one of these bolts for the other side, so the brackets came with some bolts like this, but they're too small for the hole that's in the core support. This hole here. But I will have time to find some hardware because I sanded through this one. I don't think I sanded through, I think I buffed through. As you can see, let me just tilt this up for you. Sanded through the edge. I mean, buffed through the edge. Right there, right where I used the fender. Worst spot ever. Could have been down here somewhere. I would have still repainted it. Doesn't really matter. So now I'm going to get some 600. Or, I don't know. I'm going to get something. I'm going to sand this down and get it ready to repaint. I still need to sand and buff that, but no one's ever going to look at that. I'm just going to hit that with some 2000 and buff it. These I did with 1200 and then two. Was turning out pretty sweet, as you can see. That was my goal for this weekend, is to get, I don't know, I guess I already achieved my goal, and that was getting the front end stuff together. But I figured I could also include that, but now I can't. So, get that ready to paint, Maybe I'll throw some bass on it and see how bad it's going to react. So I can think about that all day at work tomorrow. Alrighty then, that's it for now. So, let me explain to you a little bit about what happens here when you sand through your clear into your base, or buff through, or whatever I did. When you re-prep this all, I sanded it down with 600 gray Scotch-Brite. When you go to rebase over your burn through, it's gonna wrinkle around the edge, the outside edge of the clear. It's gonna ring and react around that, because the solvents in the base attack the open edge of that clear. So the only way to handle that is to lightly dust those coats of base on there until it's covered, and then I mean, if you put it on too heavy, which isn't very heavy at all, it's going to react, and it did on this. And then you sand that down with some 1000, mist it on again, it reacts a little bit less, you sand it down, you mist it on, and you can get it covered. The problem is, even after it's covered in light coats, if you want to put a wet coat on there, after that, to make your base lay out right, it's gonna go through all those light layers and it's gonna react. So, basically, what I'm saying is, on a metallic or a light color like this, since the only way to get it not to lift is to put light coats on, it might change the color. So, I mean, I have this covered now, it's not reacted, but I sprayed it lighter than I did the fenders. So, when I go to put this on after it's cleared, it might be lighter than the fender. At that point, if it's too much of a difference, being that it's all one coat of clear and there's no burn throughs on it, you can then prep it again without burning through, and then you are able to put a wet coat on it and make your metallics and color match. So I may have to paint this again after this, I may not. I went and put it on the car in base, and it looks like it's gonna be fine, but clear changes the color. Anything's possible. So I'm gonna clear this now. Tomorrow I'll be able to set it up there and see what it looks like, and hopefully it's fine. If not, I'll be painting it again. So that's how that works. What I'm trying to say is painting is always just so enjoyable, and it's such a great time. And but you know, this is how you have to handle that, and that's knowing how to handle that is I guess the difference between a painter and an applicator. Anybody can walk up here and spray some stuff on here. Matter of fact, I watched a video the other day of a guy getting a reaction like that. He kept hammering it on, lifting it, hammering it on, trying to bury it. He had no clue what he was doing. Pretty big channel. A lot of people think he knows what he's doing, but that was a perfect example of not having the experience. And I'm not really sure by the end of him painting that he even learned anything. I have a feeling he'd go and do the same thing again next time. But anyways, nonetheless, I'm gonna clear this now, and we'll see if it matches tomorrow. Well, there it is, cleared. Same day, so it's not dry yet. We'll find out tomorrow whether it matches or whether I'm repainting it again. I think it's probably gonna be okay, so that means it's probably not gonna be okay. Alright, I think it matches-ish enough. I didn't buff it. Just put it on. I'll take it off this weekend and polish it, and good enough. Just been messing around. I put the hood adjusters in here, put the hood hinges on. I'll probably go sand that rear valance now, or go inside. I'll do one of those two things. But yeah, so as long as I don't sand through that when I buff it, That'll be great. Terrific.